Hey everyone, Lisa Salvatore. I'm back with a little energy report to talk about the Mercury retrograde finally ending and the entrance of Pisces season, and also the full moon in Virgo, which takes place on February 27th, Saturday, February 27th. So first, let's just talk about how we are officially in Pisces season. Happy birthday, Pisces. Pisces is a water sign, very receptive, intuitive, poetic, spiritual, heart opening and heart expansion is a common theme under Pisces energy, where we're more compassionate towards ourselves and towards others, more empathetic, more willing to listen. We're just coming off of a lot of Aquarian energy, which is great for thinking ahead and planning. But sometimes Aquarius energy can make us detached from our emotions. And we had a lot of Aquarius energy. So now with the Pisces being brought back into the mix, we still have a lot of Aquarian energy, which is great and innovative. But then we've got the Pisces energy, which sweetens the pot quite a bit. So the sun entered Pisces on February the 19th. And on February 20th, Mercury will officially station direct at 11 degrees of Aquarius. However, we're not totally out of the woods yet, because Mercury will actually be in its post-shadow phase until March 13th. Post-shadow phase simply means that we're still going to maybe feel a little bit of that Mercury retrograde, but it will not be as much so as when we're in the thick of it for the 3 weeks when Mercury is completely retrograde. So the post-shadow is, so Mercury stations direct at 11 degrees of Aquarius, but the post-shadow is actually the day that Mercury will go right back to exactly where he was when he went retrograde. So that's what the post-shadow phase is. So anyway, so we still have a little bit of time of some of that trickster Mercury energy that could be thrown into the mix. So still proceed with caution, acting as though Mercury may still be retrograde. This particular retrograde, from myself and from what I've experienced through others, it seems like a lot of this retrograde was centered around internet blunders, emails, technology-based, more so than I've experienced it in quite some time, where you'd be in the middle of typing out an email and your laptop just shuts down, or you press record and you find out that it didn't record anything, or your cell phone starts to act really wonky. Mine was just shutting off and turning on by itself. All kinds of weird mercurial technological happenings with this retrograde. So moving forward, hopefully that won't be as strong, but likely will still be happening. And then on February 25th, we have Venus, the planet of love and beauty and money, entering the sign of Pisces, which is really nice because Venus is exalted in Pisces, meaning she loves to be there. In Pisces, Venus feels at home and in her element because she can be expressive of her sweetness and of her feelings and of her emotions, because Pisces loves emotions and loves to swim in the depth and the waters of the soul. And that's what Pisces season typically feels like. We do tend to go more deep and we do tend to feel more emotional. And again, depending on your own personal makeup, you're going to feel that more or less. But normally, we go much more heart-centered and heart-expansive under Pisces energy. And especially with Venus, which is the planet that rules over love, in Pisces, our relationships will be getting infused with a little bit of extra empathy, a little bit of extra compassion. And that goes a long way, especially when in relationship to self, because Venus is also the self-worth, the self-esteem, okay? Now, then we gear up towards this full moon in Virgo on February 27th. 3:17 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is this full moon. It is at 8 degrees and I believe 57 minutes of Virgo. And so basically all of the mutable signs, so that would be Virgo, Pisces, Gemini, and Sagittarius, or anybody with personal planets in any of those signs, okay, between 5 and 13 degrees of Virgo, of any of the mutable signs, will be feeling this full moon that much more, although everybody feels full moons to some extent, but more so, depending on your own astrology chart with those placements, you will feel it more. Now, this full moon is actually trining Uranus. Trines are gifts from the universe. Trines are blessings, and Uranus likes to change things, right? And so around this full moon, the week before, the week after, there could be experiences, things coming in out of nowhere, information coming into you with Mercury direct, providing clarity and perspective in a different form or manner than you were anticipating, but nonetheless, it's there. And it could feel like it comes out of left field. It could be unexpected. However, it's in trine, so it could be a very positive energy. It's good for change, okay? This is also full moon opposing Venus. So again, there's this feeling of harmonizing within our relationships. But yet it could still feel like there's some pressure there because it is in opposition. But however, you know, opposites attract, right? So this could be an energy that's very pronounced. It could feel very sweet. It could feel very intuitive. Like I said before, your relationships could get that jolt of compassion that could be very necessary and very much needed at this time. Now, Saturn is quincunxing Chiron at this full moon. And a quincunx sounds is as funky as it sounds. It just doesn't quite harmonize at all, if at all. But yet it's touching, it's aspecting, so it's there nonetheless. So Saturn is quincunxing Chiron, so this is where our own wounds are really being brought up and brought out, and we're recognizing where we hold ourselves back. And even going as far with the full moon, because full moons illuminate everything, right? They shine the light, everything comes up to be released and to be healed. So this could be a really good thing. You could be recognizing some ways in which you do hold back, or in which your old patterns, your old relationships, your old experiences could be holding you back and being brought up for you to really examine and look at so that you can release it and heal it once and for all. So yeah, Saturn quincunxing Chiron might not feel great because it could be bringing some stuff up, and because we're under Pisces water energy, it could feel heightened and more emotional, and it's a full moon. And let's not forget, it's a full moon in Virgo, and Virgo is a sign that can tend to be overly critical and obsessive over what we perceive as wrong. And that's going to be different for everybody. But just keep that in mind too, that there could be an oversensitivity and an overarching need to want to overanalyze and criticize where that may not even be necessary. And this could be more or less focused on the self, which can be really difficult. So just be mindful of how you're talking to yourself, and don't be so hard on yourself for things of the past, or for trying to heal from something that you may not discuss with anybody, or that you know it's there but you might have been ignoring, because around this full moon that might be coming up for you. But it isn't going to feel super painful. It's just going to be more of like a recognition, like, oh, that's still there. Clearly, this is something I must need to deal with, to transcend, right? To move forward. Because that's what this is all about. This is actually a full moon with a promise of change, trining Uranus, opposing Venus. It wants to help us. This energy is working with us in a positive manner to bring us forward on our journey here, right? To bring us forward. This full moon also is very reminiscent, of the last new moon, which was on February 11th. And so this time period in between, look back to that new moon and what seeds you were trying to sow, and how that might have been cultivating, fertilizing, let's just say, up until this full moon, because that's going to give you a really good idea of your storyline for 2021, for the rest of 2021, especially because of that Saturn-Uranus square that just hit exact on the 17th, and there'll be 2 more this year for us to contend with. So again, there's change, lots of change. But again, change is good. We have to ride the waves, but not get swept up in them. Let me pull a angel card for this full moon energy. This full moon will also be illuminating for us where adjustments might need to be made within ourselves, our projects, our relationships, where there might need to be tweaks. This could be where the breakdown actually leads to the breakthrough. So keep that in mind as well, to lean into the emotion that could be coming up around this time. Because Pisces always brings in the emotion, and full moons always heighten the emotion and the intuition. I simply pulled a card that says yes. So I feel like this is saying that whatever it is that you want is within reach. The answer is yes. You just have to be willing to do the work to get to it. And I really feel like the work right now is getting out of your own way and recognizing where you're holding yourself back, and that the soul is limitless. And that the more you go into that space and do that self-work and look at what it is that you really want, and do the I don't know, the work that it takes to get you to where you want to go, the integration, all of that good stuff that doesn't always feel pretty in the moment, but ends up being the best thing for us. This is a time of deep contemplation, deep reflection, positive changes that could come in through a breakdown first, but there is some positive changes afoot. Take really good care of yourselves, guys. My links are below, lisasalvatore.com, and I'll talk to you all real soon. Bye.